Hello everybody, Resonance here, and today I have another expert game for you guys as part of my Break the Meta series for Age of Empires 2. Throughout this series I'll be showcasing a wide variety of creative and situational strategies while evaluating how they might stack up in the current metagame. We've all seen our fair share of Galley Rushes and Knights, so today it's time for something completely different. It's time for a Monk Rush on a water map. In this expert match, RiuT will be playing against DauT in a 1v1 on the map Continental. At the top left side of the map, we have RiuT playing as the Red Mayans. And on the bottom right half of the map, we have DauT playing as the Blue Chinese. Yes, you actually heard me correctly. This is going to be a Monk Rush on a water map. And my favorite part of this series is analyzing situations, guys, in which stuff like this is actually a good idea. If we look at a map like Continental, it is, a map that is, of course, mostly land, but it's still one of those maps that has the, ubiquitous thing where we have a huge body of water that is teeming with valuable fish that both players here will have to compete for control over. While there is, of course, a land connection between the two players, unlike a map like Islands, there's enough fish, there's enough water that, generally speaking, we expect players to go for a Galley Rush. And part of the reason why we do is if we take a look at the way the map gen is set up, there's always a narrow passageway between both players here, but it's like super easy to wall. And in this situation, this is probably one of the most narrow and ridiculously, thin passageways I think I've ever seen in Continental. This is really, really easy to wall. This is like 3-4 tiles of walls, and RiuT's basically safe. So what you would normally expect on a map like Continental is that both players will go for like a Galley Rush and they'll just wall the middle choke point area. That might not be the optimal strategy here, though. Here's where things get really weird. We take a look at RiuT's map, right? Like, this is about as easy as it gets to wall as possible, but DauT's map is actually kind of bad. His main gold is at the front. His berries at the front. This choke point is actually quite wide, and walling this area off safely is rather difficult. He would have to kind of wall like here to here, but even then it's not necessarily safe. In fact, RiuT could even chop through this if he so wanted. It's only one tree wide. Either way, it's going to be pretty inefficient here for DauT to try and just wall up and then, go for galleys of his own. That's not generally going to be wise, and again, this is a reoccurring theme that we see in Break the Meta. Why try to mimic your opponent when your opponent is in a position where he can just do that thing better? Why play from behind when you can go do something different? Think outside of the box and outsmart your opponent. Try something they don't expect. Why mimic your opponent and play from behind when you can do something completely different, catch them off guard, and seize the victory? Alright, so it looks like we got the boar lure coming in here from RiuT. DauT will be following this up, of course. Let's remember, guys, that the Mayans do have a very, very strong economy throughout all stages of the game, especially in the early game. The Chinese economy is pretty good too, but really like the Mayans shine because they have their resources last 20% longer, and this means that essentially every tree, think about it this way, has 120 wood instead of 100 wood. This means that when you get 10 wood from a pine forest tree, the tree itself only loses 8, but you get 10 with your villager. That means that you get so much more value out of your resources than your opponent does, and that really can make a huge difference. Also, the Chinese at the beginning, they might start with 6 villagers, but that's not as insane on normal maps as it is on land, like non-nomad maps, I guess, because you don't start with any food. Having those 6 villagers at the start doesn't really snowball your lead that much, because you do get housed at the beginning, whereas the Mayans can just kind of keep rolling with it as they do start with food. This is a awfully roundabout boar lure, but he does end up getting it in there as RiuT, sitting here with his Eagle Warriors, Eagle Scout, threatening to steal it, but does not, as DauT Scout is in the correct position for this. The Mayans just have such a very, very strong economy, and not only that, like, their walls also cost half as much as their team bonus. No sense, really, in mimicking this. I'm sure that DauT could probably compete with the Galley Rush of his own, but he kind of doesn't want to. I mean, his own map is just kind of ridiculous looking. This is just super bad. Like, his choke point is really, really wide. It's really wide. His gold's super far forward. He's not in an advantageous position here, whereas RiuT is totally a-okay with going for a dock, going for some fishing ships, and thinking about a Galley Rush of his own. Remember that the Galley Rush, of course, is a strategy where you try to get to the feudal age like relatively quickly, pull everything off of food once you start advancing to the feudal age, put all your villagers on wood, all your villagers on gold, and start spamming galleys out of several docks to try and take control of the water. Taking control of the water is so very important because not only does it provide you so much valuable map control, but it also gives you a huge constant source of food, and a very, very efficient one at that. Fishing ships coming out here from RiuT is going to build a fourth one, of course. 4 fishing ships is enough enough food income. They give you enough food income to constantly sustain villager production, even while all of your land villagers are, of course, harvesting from the wood and gold resources. So you can spam galleys. The Galley Rush strategy is about as aggressive as it gets for competing over control of the water, and that's why we see so many players do it, because you really need the water to win these games. But in this case, really, like, does DauT want to compete with RiuT in this case, since RiuT's base is just so much easier to defend? Look at this gold positioning here from RiuT as well. Like, his map is just fantastic. Like, he could just stonewall off this side if he's concerned about any transport ship play, and he's basically good to go. Whereas DauT needs some sort of solution to this situation, and it's going to take something crazy in this case. He does have, of course, his own dock, and he has his own 4 fishing ships. And what I like about this is that this isn't too crazy, right? Like, RiuT will see that there's a dock over here with a bunch of fishing ships, and he's just like, okay, DauT is playing standard. Nothing to worry about. And in the meantime, DauT here is doing a little bit of scouting. He knows that RiuT is just going to be able to go for his own Galley Rush. He's going to be scouting around, has to go find that dock, see what's up. I mean, it's pretty expected, right? Like, seeing a choke point this thin, going for a Galley Rush carries almost no risk, whereas if DauT goes for a Galley Rush of his own, he'll have to waste resources on this wall off, and he'll just be a little bit behind, and his economy won't quite be as strong yet. The fact that Chinese technologies cost a little bit less adds up over time, but it doesn't really matter as much in the early feudal age. Second dock here coming out from RiuT signifies the Galley Rush, but DauT himself only is on 1 dock right now. Now, he knows that his opponent is going to go for a Galley Rush here because it's like so low risk and the mine economy is just so strong. Why would you not do it? DauT's strategy right here would be incredibly punished by something like a Drush or just a normal like feudal age archer flush. If you went to the feudal age and just spammed archers, that would really punish DauT because DauT has no wall up. But DauT here is, bluffing. He's not really going for any sort of galleys, and the galleys here from RiuT aren't going to be able to accomplish too much. There's a lot of fishing ships over here because this is such a great spot for a dock. Look at all this great fish marlin and all these middle sea fish as well. Such a great source of food. The fishing ships gather from them very efficiently. The galleys aren't going to do as much damage here because there aren't any galleys from DauT on his own. He's not committing as much to this, and he would be punished so hard if RiuT was going for a land-based strategy. But of course RiuT is going to go and try and attack DauT on the water. Especially because once RiuT notices there's so many fishing ships here as well, he'll also want to go try and deal with us. This gives DauT a lot of necessary space. DauT here is going to go send his scout forward. He's going to see the wall up on his way, and this basically guarantees the Galley Rush. He found the dock as well, so well played on DauT's part. The scouting here is going to be critical. He's going to be standing in the way of this villager to delay this wall up slightly, just be kind of a nuisance here. And he's shooting for a fast cast lead right now. He set up his economy in a way that he'll be able to build a market, a blacksmith, and have just about the perfect amount of resources needed to advance. But we know something crazy is up here, because if we look at the way his villagers are distributed, he has 5 on gold, not 3. He's going for a 6 on gold. So he's definitely thinking about the monks and siege, a monk rush, of course. Otherwise, we wouldn't need this many villagers on gold right now. And yeah, we do see, of course, a mark in a blacksmith. No barracks means no knights. Otherwise, you see like a barracks, a stable, and a blacksmith. These fishing ships are gonna have to be forced off the line here, so good on RiuT is gonna do a lot of damage to DauT's economy. DauT committed super hard in these fishing ships, trying to squeeze as much value out of them as possible to try and get that fast castle age like really quick. And he's okay with having to pull all these off the line. It's gonna do a lot of damage to his economy, but he thinks it's worthwhile. Seeing all these fishing ships, RiuT will, of course, have to chase him around, and rather than stay and lose all these for free, he's just gonna make RiuT waste some time and just go chase after those. Look how aggressively DauT is scouting here. He is just trying to get as much information as physically possible. He sees the villagers on gold here, which signifies perhaps some archer play, incoming, some galleys, obviously. You know it's for the galleys, but like archer play is definitely an option. He doesn't see too many villagers on gold, so that means that in the meantime, it's just going to be galleys. You see a little bit of that scout fighting action as DauT here just trying to waste as much time as possible. If we look at his vision, he sees the gold mine. He knows that there is a dock over here. He sees that there's some houses on this side. But if we swap back to RiuT's perspective, he's almost no information. He has almost no information. And that's because his scout is trapped on the other side of these walls. RiuT here playing so very defensively, having his scout inside here. He has no idea what DauT is up to. And that is going to be super duper bad for him. He's actually walled his own scout, and he won't be able to get it out there because he was too busy chasing DauT's own scout. And what RiuT really fears right now is he really fears this transport ship play. When you ignore the water, your other option is to play the land side of the map. Go for a transport ship play. And he needs to go for transports to bypass this stone wall, of course. There's no way he's getting through this otherwise. Barracks coming down here from RiuT as he's going to start transitioning to ground troops. Seeing now that DauT has no presence on the water, might as well save resources. Don't waste it on too many galleys. Might as well just go for the land, and he's probably going to put down some archer ranges and try and put that pressure on. Right now, what RiuT really fears is that transport ship play, because he's like, what else could DauT be up to, right? DauT must be doing a transport ship play, but RiuT is playing with such limited information, he doesn't really know, but he's playing it safe, and he's being smart right now, and he's stonewalling the right-hand side, and that means that if DauT tries to dock some villagers over here with the transport ship, they won't be able to do anything. This forward won't happen. He has houses scattered across this little peninsula over here to try and give him vision of any, transport ships that do land. The thing here, though, is that remember, the vision from RiuT is lacking. He kept his scout over here, and he's actually going to go let this in and go bring it out forward. As I think RiuT realized, he's like, wait, I'm playing in the dark. I don't know what's going on. His vision has a lot of holes in it. Like, his vision kind of looks like Swiss cheese at this point. He has this peninsula covered. There, he sees everything on this peninsula, and any pressure on the right side, he's got stone walls for this. It's not going to happen. There's also happens to be a bunch of conveniently placed wolves. There's a blind spot here, though. No vision in this area. RiuT doesn't see anything over here, and this is perfect for DauT, as he's going to land right over there. And DauT has set himself up perfectly for this situation. Look, DauT knows where there's vision. He saw this stone wall. DauT's done such a good job scouting for this. He sees the houses over here on the peninsula. He knows where the docks are. He knows that RiuT is playing blind at this point, and he's going to dock some villagers. He's going to land them. He's going to build a monastery. He's going to build a siege workshop and start putting pressure onto RiuT and punish him. And the thing here, though, is that these fire ships as well are going to be fantastic. This is the ideal position for fire ships. Remember that RiuT's galleys were not in position. They were all the way over in the corner. They were chasing after some fishing ships. They were not in a position to be able to defend against these fire ships. They weren't clumped up enough. And normally we don't see fire ships get too much play in competitive AoE unless your opponent has like a small number of galleys or like a large number of fishing ships. The galleys are generally able to gun down the fire ships if they are clumped up enough, but the thing is that he didn't have all of his galleys in the right position, and these fire ships are just gonna run him off the water entirely. This is super bad because RiuT really, he thought he had complete control of the water. He made a bunch of fishing ships. He's gonna get heavily punished for this. He's gonna lose all of his fishing ships, he's gonna lose all of his galleys, and it's gonna be a great value play here from DauT. Fire ship's gonna put on a lot of pressure, but it's just a ruse as we switch over to RiuT's perspective. Suddenly, from the fog of war, out of nowhere, a monk. How is this even possible, RiuT's wondering. He has vision everywhere except for this area. There's a blind spot here. This is only possible again because DauT spent so much time scouting this area, being aggressive with his scout, buying time, using his own ships to figure out where RiuT's vision is, and allowing him to get up this forward completely undetected. Really, RiuT had no time to react here, and the double monastery with the Mangonels is going to put on so much pressure. These fire ships are going to get systematically picked off by RiuT's superior numbers, but it's just a distraction. And it's just a way to even out the economy discrepancy because you get a huge eco boost by having all those fishing ships gathering from all the fish. And by losing all the fire ships, then DauT and RiuT are on a much more even playing field. This is really, really scary for RiuT here. He needs a response now. His villagers getting converted. DauT here going to start mining stone from RiuT's own stone mine. He has no answer to this. Why? Because he put his barracks at the front. Remember, guys, he put his barracks at the front. He put his archer ranges at the front. He thought he was definitively in the lead. And this is really bad because he has nothing to go defend himself with. But RiuT here is taking a gamble. He's going offensive with this. He's not pulling back his archers. We remember what happened in the last episode when your opponent has to go pull back a full group of archers to go defend his own base. Then you lose out on so much pressure here. RiuT has this window where, you know, DauT went for a fast castle age, right? He doesn't have anything to go defend his own base either. DauT is completely vulnerable, and oh, there's always a hole in the wall every single time, guys. Oh my, that's devastating. A hole in this wall off here. RiuT's gonna get into this wood line, do so much damage, but in the meantime, his town center under heavy fire. These Mangonels will be able to pressure the town center from out of its own range. 6 versus 7. Our blue Chinese player DauT over here is going to be able to just decimate this town center, and RiuT will have no response. But in the meantime, both players trading so much economic damage. DauT on the run, RiuT on the run. He's going to build a secondary town center over here and just try and stall. The good news is, though, is that I do believe, I'm assuming that RiuT is on his way to the castle age. He is, and he needs to. But he might just be town centerless. Oh, that's going to be so bad. He's diverting everything to try and repair this, but the monks are just converting the villagers. He's not able to repair this. Oh, it's taking so much damage. But in the meantime, he's got a siege workshop in his own base now. He will be able to try and defend this with a Mangonel. This match, neck and neck. The thing here, this forward, it just really punishes RiuT, because DauT can just sneak his own forward on here completely undetected. RiuT not in a position to be able to defend this, and RiuT's like, should I stay or should I go? If I pull back, I have nothing to defend against this Mangonel, so he's gonna keep trying to attack DauT and weaken that economy. Oh god, he's not gonna be able to keep this town center. Oh, he just barely does. All RiuT right now is thinking is like, should I repair this at all? No, he doesn't have a chance to. So he's actually town centerless. 24 minutes in, has no town center. The Monks and Mangonels gonna do so much damage here. The Monks can't apply any like actual pressure against the economy of RiuT, but that's where the Mangonels come in. There's such a great combination here. Monks very weak to mass range units. It also does protect them against the archers. And the Mangonels will be able to pressure the town center where the monks cannot. This is going to be so bad. Oh my goodness. But RiuT here with some fantastic micro. Oh god. Never mind. I take that. Sight guys, just kidding. What a twist. He actually is going to lose his entire control of archers. I was going to say he pulled forward at exactly the last second. RiuT reacting perfectly, but DauT here with some great Mangonel shots. Cleans up that entire archer army. That might be game. That actually might be game for RiuT, as that was his entire military. He has no town center. The game is completely crumbled for him in just a blink of an eye. Sure, DauT's economy is incredibly weak too, but we're at 40 population to 55. That's super bad for RiuT. He has no town center. He's gonna have to build one. There's nothing safe. There's nowhere safe on the map. He can't even finish this stone wall. And there's also a hole over here that he's gonna have to deal with. Look at these conveniently placed wolves, also gonna do some damage here. And this wall won't last that long against 3 Mangonels. He doesn't have a town center. This was such a brilliant strategy by DauT because he spent so much time preparing for this. This would not have been possible without all the information he got from such aggressive scouting. DauT here spent so much time preparing. He knew where all the vision was for RiuT, and RiuT wasn't scouting very aggressively himself, so he could make this a complete surprise, catch his opponent off guard. RiuT certainly would have played differently if he knew this was coming, but he had no idea. He had no idea. He had almost no information on DauT, playing in the dark. Bunch of these villagers here gonna get converted, and these Mangonels are pushing in. RiuT is basically completely dead at this point. Without a town center, he lost his entire army here to some Mangonels. That's devastating. When your opponent goes for a fast castle age strategy like this, you have a window where you can pressure them because they don't, they're not really able to like make any military units and whatnot and like be a threat until like 19-ish minutes in the game, right? So in that time you can put some pressure on. But RiuT, overcommitted a little bit on galleys, assuming that his opponent was going to, like, play standard. He made a lot more galleys than he probably needed to, and that slowed down his archer range. It slowed down his barracks, and that gave DauT so much more time. And DauT knew all of this was coming. He saw the DauT, he saw the choke point being walled up, and seeing the choke point being walled up generally means there's going to be, a galley rush to start. But RiuT here with a couple of Eagle Warriors do resist conversion, is able to go clear this area out. So that's pretty good for him. I don't think he has a town center, though. That kind of sucks. There's a castle coming out here with DauT, of course, built that with RiuT's own stone, so super BM. The fire ships are going to come back to the back of RiuT's little water area, the top corner of the map, and are going to start clearing out these galleys, start clearing out these fishing ships, but RiuT does actually have enough galleys to go defend this. The thing here, though, is that while he has a couple of Eagle Warriors, there's a castle over here. Like, I think that he's just kind of prolonging the inevitable at this point. He has no economy of any description. He's really, like, playing on a timer right now. He has these Eagle Warriors, but what's he going to do with them? He can't actually clear out this forward from DauT, and DauT's going to make a couple of Chukonus and just kind of secure that victory for himself. The galleys here gonna poke down at RiuT's villagers. RiuT is basically dead. And what a great, unique strategy this was, actually. Yeah, this was really, really cool to see from DauT here. No Galley Rush play. He built this dock. RiuT saw that. He didn't see anything else, so he just assumes that there's going to be a Galley Rush here. But because, like, the way that DauT's map is set up, DauT knew that, like, there's no real point in mirroring RiuT's strategy. He might as well try something really interesting and situational. And he went for an aquatic Monk Rush, a Monk Rush with the transport ship on a water map. And it really, really paid off just because he set himself up for this. He made sure that he had vision of everything so that it was a surprise. And, well, these Eagle Warriors are going to do a lot of damage here because these Mangonels, of course, they do have minimum range, can't attack units at the base of them. The Eagle Warriors just get to clean up those. And RiuT's not giving up yet. I was about to say, like, he's not giving up yet. He's trying to inflict as much damage as he can on DauT's economy. And if he had a town center, he might be able to, hold the line over here. But a surprise army of wolves, a bunch of galleys. Look at this massacre. By the end of the game, RiuT's down to 20 population with no town center. He hasn't had one since 24 minutes in. What a great timing attack here. This is also even more devastating because RiuT just had no information. He put all this stuff forward, so it was really hard for him to go defend his own base. He didn't have time to react. Like, you pick off this forward, before it goes up, ideally. And RiuT was just in a very unfortunate situation. Wasn't able to get to the Castle Age time here. Wasn't able to get to the Castle Age in time. DauT got to punish him for it. So yeah, an aquatic Monk Rush. You don't always have to go for a Galley Rush. While it might be very strong and a very common strategy, there is room for variety here. Just depends the situation, depends on the map. And with this being so open here, DauT had to think of something, and it ended up really, really paying off in the end here. I love to see this, the Monks and Mangonel pressure. Monks and Mangonel, such an ideal combination, guys. That's why you see them so commonly used together. The Monks, again, they can't pressure buildings very hard, and that's where the Mangonels come in. The Monks are also very weak to, like, mass, cheap, ranged units like the Archers, which we know that RiuT had, so the Mangonels are a counter to that. It's a well-balanced army composition that covers the weaknesses of each other and can be very, very hard to deal with, as we can see here. Really, what sealed the deal, though, this game is RiuT losing that entire army of Archers over here, too. The Mangonel. The real question is, should he have pulled his guys back? And I think that sending them forward was probably the wise play. It's always tough to say, because, like, there were so many Mangonels back here from DauT that perhaps pulling back his own army of Archers wasn't really worth it, and just trying to do as much damage as possible. But really, it's that lack of scouting information. It's that lack of scouting information that really won the game here for DauT. Because he did so much scouting and RiuT didn't do enough, he was able to catch his opponent off guard, and he knew exactly what RiuT was up to. And even with a huge largest army discrepancy, it's that element of surprise that won in the end. RiuT was just not able to do enough damage because DauT got to the Castle Age first. DauT was just not punished enough for this because of the Galley Rush. That's the thing. If RiuT went, like, full land, he would have been able to deal enough damage to DauT in that window of vulnerability, but he didn't. He actually went for a Galley Rush, which is expected. And in this case, if you know what your opponent's going to do, you can counter it appropriately with your own strategy. In this case, Monks, pays dividends, wins the game. Look at that difference in Castle Age timings. Like, that is really, really substantial here. That's like 8 minutes. Wow. Yeah, RiuT managed to clean up a bunch of fishing ships on the water, but it just wasn't enough here. As DauT with the Monks and Mangonels transport ship play, completely sneaky and hidden, got away with it. If that was scouted by RiuT, if he had houses in that small little blind spot area, if he saw this coming, he could have pulled his Archers back, stopped them before the Mangonels came up. He could have pulled some villagers off the line as well, but he did not see it up in time, and that one little blind spot definitely punished him. This is what RiuT was fearing the entire game, as funny as that is. Like, he put a bunch of houses on the peninsula on the left, he had stone walls on the right. He's fearing the transport ship play, because it's the other option that you have, the other primary option that you have in a situation like this, because we know that DauT had to go for something transport ship related, because the choke point was so narrow that, like, if you went for Knights or something like that, fast Castle Age into Knights, it wouldn't work. Because the choke point there was so narrow, RiuT could just wall it up incredibly easily. RiuT knew this was coming, or he knew something with the transport ship was coming, but he didn't see it in time, and that's how DauT managed to secure the win. So, GG, well played. What a game. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this one. If you did, Don't forget to leave me a like rating, as it does help me out quite a lot. And of course, I do read all your comments below, even if I don't get a chance to respond to each of them individually. I also have plenty of other Age of Empires 2 videos on my YouTube channel, as well as videos of other games, so if you enjoyed this one, you'll probably like those as well. And I also do live stream weekly, and I'd love to see you there. You can see a link to my live stream on the screen and in the video description below. Love to have you there. You just click that link, you scroll underneath the video player to find my schedule. That way you don't have to miss a live stream ever. And of course, my live stream is a great place to interact with me, play some games, chit chat, and hang out. We got a wonderful community there. As always, guys, thank you so much for the continued support. Hope you all enjoyed watching this match as much as I did. What a treat to see some monks on water, which is pretty unheard of, but it really did pay off here, and that's the wonders of the Break the Meta series. So thank you so much for watching, as always, guys. Really appreciate the support. Look forward to bringing you guys more awesome Age of Empires 2 and other game content. And as always, see you guys next time. GG, well played.